الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us guidance in so many different ways. Everything He creates is an Āyah, is a sign that points back to Him, that leads to Him, and that shows that He is the Lord, He is the Rabb, He is the Creator. The human being has the ability and the faculty by which he can evaluate, process, recognize that there is a supreme being and there is a creator that is greater than himself. And it is to this that the Quran appeals to the human mind, the human intellect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to these landmarks and to these very obvious signs as ayat, which ayah is what you recite in the Quran through revelation, but ayah is also a physical sign that Allah places everywhere throughout His creation so that human beings may reflect and may understand and may deduce and conclude just by observation that the system by which and in which and with which life exists is organized. It is not haphazard. And this was the appeal that the Quran had on the very simple human mind. You don't have to be a genius to know that when there's organization in the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, the earth, weather, climate, seasons, day and night, is very obvious. You just have to look. Modern day life and existence, unfortunately, has all but prevented us from looking, because we can't look anymore. When we look at the sky, we can't see the stars. They're drowned by the neon lights and the city lights. You can't see the stars anymore. So there's nothing to observe except artificial and man-made creation. But if we were to go in the wilderness and just sit and observe and look at how every tree has hundreds of leaves, and all those leaves, they fall, and all those leaves and trees, they, grant fruit and flowers. And look at all the trees and the birds and the animals, how they live, how they survive. And look at nature, taking maybe a break from city life, going into the countryside 20 miles from here, and just observe all the ayat, signs that Allah has placed strategically everywhere. When you travel this country, that's what you see. You see the glory, the beauty of Allah's creation. A spectacular country. And you see, and you think, so this is what the Bedouin Arab observed, because he was always in nature, with nature, in sequence with nature. because he could observe the sun, the moon, the stars, even the planets, day and night, alternating seasons, how rain comes and how rain doesn't come, and how, the earth becomes green after it is brown and barren. Then all of a sudden rain comes and spring comes, and then all of a sudden there's life. And see, the animals are now happy that there's life, there's water. But this you can only do if you observe. And this is why the Quran now urges human beings just to observe. Allah says, أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Don't they see, don't they observe how the camel is created? وَإِلَى السَّمَاءِ كَيْفَ رُفِعَتْ. And how the heavens and the sky is raised. Who builds this kind of gigantic roof, a canopy over you, where there is no leak? You don't need to repair the sky. You don't call a roofer and say, hey, the sky, there's something wrong with the sky here. The rain is dripping. It's supposed to drip. وَإِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَيْفَ سُطِحَتْ. And don't they look and observe how the earth has been made in such a way that you can walk on it? It's a globe, we all know that. And it's moving, we all know that. As it is rotating on its axis, is moving, we all know that. But we can walk. We can travel. We can drive our cars. It won't hurt us. Gravity will take care of us, but who does this? وَإِلَى الْجِبَالِ كَيْفَ نُصِبَتْ. And look at all the mountains, see how they have been pegged into the earth, so the earth doesn't shake or rock. So Allah is now encouraging the human being to do two things. One is observe. Just look. Sit down in your garden, look at a single tree and see how much life Allah creates in that single tree. Look at an animal, look at a deer. Look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created all of this and facilitated life, and everything He creates is an ayah, it's a sign. It takes you from the creation to the creator. That's what an ayah is. The modern day science, or science in general, modern or old, it doesn't matter. They want you to be limited in the creation. But Tawheed would have you say, no, there is something else beyond the creation that we must admire, and that is the creator. So the Muslim scientist has an advantage, that the Muslim scientist knows that his purpose of observing and collecting data and going through the empirical method of knowing is not limited to the atom, is not limited to matter, is not limited to the test tube, is not limited to the experimentation. He knows that he has to move on from the creation to the creator, and that is the beauty of Tawheed and Islam, that it gives you a platform which is far more greater, far more broader, far more superior intellectually than any scientific method can give you. Because of the hidayah, because of the guidance, because of Allah's rahmah and fadl. So the Bedouin Arab, when he looked at nature around him, he concluded, deduced, that there is a creator far more superior than me, and far more superior than these great forms of creation, bigger than the heavens, bigger than the mountains, bigger than the earth. And that is Islam's challenge to the world today. The world of automation, the world of gene therapy, the world of DNA, the world of the computer, and the world of AI. I mean, just look at the words they use. Artificial intelligence. AI stands for artificial, meaning it's not real. Just understand from how they name things that this is not real, it is false. And yet you're going after the mirage, which doesn't exist. It's false. The technology is useful, there's no doubt in that. We use technology all the time. There's no harm in using technology to its fullest. But to deduce or conclude or to say that now this is great, we say, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater. Every time you say Salah, what do you say? Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater. Who is He greater than you? He's greater than you, and He's greater than your creation. All of it put together. But this can only happen if you have the power, the desire, the will to observe in a very sincere, honest way. That everything changes and Allah regulates the change. Allah controls the change. Allah is in control, He's in command. Then you cannot worship creation. You cannot be mesmerized by creation, which unfortunately is the fallacy of the human being. You see a wonderful building, supreme architecture. You see a great car. Oh, what a wonderful car. That is what a wonderful building. That is. Nobody thinks about the poor architect who designed the building. Nobody thinks about the poor engineers who designed the car. They get stuck in the creation, which is dishonesty. If you look at a fantastic building, now you will look at, oh, who is the genius who created this building? We don't go there. We say, oh, wow, look at this. Great building, wonderful building, beautiful building. So likewise, Allah is saying that through the process of yanzurun and nazar and observation, you must use your rational mind now to go one step further than what it is you observe. Go beyond that and understand who is with that. Who is the reason for that creation to exist? Who gives it existence? Once you have this, then you have Islam. If you don't have this, then you have atheism. You'll deny the existence of Islam because you fail to see it. He's right in front of you. He's everywhere. Everywhere in His creation. Just observe everything in front of you just for a few moments. Take advantage of your ability to observe. Once you do this, then you will lead yourself to this eternal existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the Supreme, the Almighty, and that is confirmed every time you say Allahu Akbar. That Allah is greater than what? Everything you observe, everything you think about, everything you know. Everything that exists in front of you, Allah is greater than all of that. So now the formulae of dua and dhikr and takbir are designed to bring the creation to the Creator. It is that connection that Islam gives you. If you don't make that connection, then you're on your way to atheism. Rejection of God, which has its own demise and failures and problems and disasters, as we all know. Allah give us all tawfiq to worship Him and to recognize who He is. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin.